Hey folks, Steven Skacandy here with the Skacandy Group at Remax Now. Today is December 7th, 2021. And of course, December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. It was the day we were viciously attacked a number of years ago. It brought us into the war, World War II, that is. So that's extremely significant of today. I remember my first trip to Pearl Harbor. It was back in 2011. It was December of 2011. And no, excuse me. That was my second trip. My first trip was 2000. But anyway, 2011, what's significant about it is that 2 years before, in 2009, they had disbanded the Pearl Harbor Survivors Association because they didn't have members left that were in good enough shape to travel and to celebrate. So that's why it's extremely important that we remember those folks that were asleep in their racks. It was a Sunday morning that were doing their thing, and then they were hit because they were American servicemen on that island. Hawaii was not yet the 50th state. It actually didn't become a state until I think 16 years later, 58, 59, something like that. But one of the story is we want to remember them boys and what was going on. Okay, so remember Pearl Harbor. That's the first thing. The second thing is that I wanted you to go ahead and think strategically. Let's see. Here we go. There we go. We do this live, folks. Today we're going to discuss how to think strategically as a buyer. Okay. So the first thing we want to do when we think strategically as a buyer, know that real estate right now is a chess game. And it doesn't just go to the one with the best offer, but it also goes to the one with the best terms. So the two things that we have to manipulate as a buyer are price, what we offer, and then terms of sale. And in either one of those things, we can come up with a win-win that will make the seller choose your offer versus somebody else's, and obviously get you what you want, which is the house. So as we think strategically, what's one thing that we start out with? Well, the first thing we want to start out with is that great pre-qualification letter, and maybe even amp it up to a pre-approval. Now, we use those terms interchangeably, but they are slightly different, and it's important to understand the difference. So a pre-qualification letter is simply you reach out to our favorite lender, and they know about what your rank is, so they know what your BAH is and your take home and all that. And they say, look, we'll give you this much. Now, at that point in time, they haven't done enough research to make sure, credit's good. There's no extenuating circumstances that could trip you up. So pre-approval is very rudimentary, generally speaking. Some, go into a little bit more detail, but generally speaking, a pre-qualification is very rudimentary. Pre-approval is when we get into the weeds. We do a little bit more detail, and we verify things like income and assets and debt and all of those things. I always recommend, given time, we go in with that versus the regular pre-qualification, just because the seller looks at it and they know that, you're a buyer that's a little bit more, ready to go, a little bit more prepared, that type of thing. So that's the first thing. The other thing is understand that this is a team sport. We're only as good as the knowledge that we have. And the knowledge that we have is the knowledge that you give us, okay, about what your wants are, what your needs are. Now, if you've worked with me, I spend a lot of time figuring that stuff out before we actually go out there and start looking at homes. The reason being is because we don't want to burn up time looking at the wrong things. We want to narrow that search down, that field of view, and make sure we're looking at the things that you really like from the get-go. Now, that doesn't mean that your tastes and preferences might not change. That does happen, and that's fine, but we want to go in there prepared, and that's where that comes into play. So by getting that pre-approval done, by getting your wants and needs, up there in visual, so we know exactly what it is, and then putting the rest of the team together to help us get through the transaction will help you win in this or any market. So thank you so much for tuning in. We look forward to working with you. I know you've got questions about some great opportunities, so hit us up. Go ahead and visit us at www.skakandygroup.com. Okay. That's one resource that you can hit us up at. Or if you need to know right now what your home value is, go ahead and type in this link below and we will get that information out to you. All right. Take care. Have a great day and stay motivated. Bye now.